Biological psychology is referred to biopsychology or physiological psychology. In recent years, this discipline of psychology has grown in reputations, and it is connected with other fields of research such as biology, neurology, and genetics. The biological viewpoint is the only one that examines human issues and actions from biological viewpoints and perspective. Furthermore, biology has an impact whether or not particular behaviors are passed down to future generations. For example, survival-oriented behaviors are most likely to be passed down to future generations, but harmful behavior are less likely to be passed down. Consider the issue of a person's aggression. Violence may be understood as the outcome of childhood traumas and unfulfilled needs from psychoanalytic perspective. The behavioral technique it looks into how people connections, rewards, and punishment affects their actions. A social psychologist might also investigate the group dynamics and the factors that impact such behavior. But the biological viewpoint, on the other hand, would need investigating the origins of aggressive behavior. When looking at things from biological perspective, one may consider how certain types of brain damage might lead to aggressive behavior. They may also look at genetic variables that may play a role in such outbursts. Consequently, everything psychological starts with the physiological. All ideas, feelings, behaviors, and actions have a biological basis. The first reason why biological psychology is an important field in psychology is because it analyzes how trauma to the brain influences a person's behavior. Traumatic experience will leave an incredible impact for every individual. For example, individuals that have been exposed to traumatic events in their early life have higher possibilities to develop disorders such as post-traumatic disorders, depression, or borderline disorder. However, in certain instances, this kind of experience may be beneficial. Therefore, children who have been experiencing mild stress in their early childhood may have a better skill of stress management in adulthood.
Study how genetic and brain damage are linked to mental disorders. Despite sharing physical characteristics such as two eyes, hands, and legs, not two people are physiologically identical. This biological difference can be seen even among siblings and twins. Some research have shown that a person's biological composition impacts how they act and interact with their surroundings. Individual difference in personalities and intellect can also be related to biology. It should come as no surprise that certain mental health issues have a biological basis. Several biological that are directly related to mental illnesses have been identified by the area of biological psychiatry. Certain characteristics shown by family members are heritable. According to research, mental illnesses such as schizophrenia or bipolar disorder can be passed on through family members. It is also believed that certain people's genetic composition may predispose them to mental health difficulty in the face of specific triggers such as a traumatic event or stress. And in other words, there are genes that may contribute to mental health issues.
Assalamualaikum, nama saya Mesyamaikan bin Mirasran. Okay. The frontal lobe is one of the lobes found in the brain. It is clearly the most important lobe because of its enormous function for human life and against psychology, as it gives humans the ability to solve problems, think, and concentrate. Our behavior is also based on the frontal lobe, so just imagine if our frontal lobe is problematic. Of course, we can do a variety of activities. Thank you.
Invested how degenerated brain disease affect how people see. This is the disease can enter the nerve base with normal symptoms, common symptoms that always cause restless. In addition, common degenerated disease also have good characteristics. The disease has provided a very powerful capital system for us For the student, the neuron relationship of psychological system. This disease is very useful the understanding neural network, which is based on several mental symptoms. For example, anatomy, stability, and measurement.
Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Shafini and I'm going to talk about my final exam, which is question number 1, number 2 and number 3. And question number 1 is genetic factor could be aggressive. Aristotle and the French philosophers say that children at age 6 until 12 could be aggressive because their surroundings is more aggressive and they will adopt the condition of their surrounding. And
one sense organ that we have chosen is pain. Pain is a feeling that appears when the nervous system is triggered. It may be acute or mild. Pain can last a short time or a long time. Pain also can be confined to one part of the body, such as the chest, abdomen, or back. But it can also be felt all over the body, such as when the person has a flu or a muscular soreness. The pain root in the event of pain, which is possibly caused by an accident, is as follows. For example, tissue injuries occur when a person pricks their fingers on something sharp. Nociceptors, which are tiny pain sensors in the skin, detect the injury. Each pain receptor is found on one of a nerve cell or neuron that is connected to the opposite end of the spinal cord by a long nerve fiber called an axon. Bundles of nerve fibers make form a peripheral nerve which sends electrical signals to the spinal cord in the neck. Electrical impulses flow between neurons in the dorsal hole of the spinal cord via synapses, which are made possible by chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. Then the impulses are sent to the brain through the spinal cord. The signals are sent to a region of the brain called thalamus, which distributes them to other parts of the brain. The somatosensory cortex, which is responsible for physical feeling, the limbic system, which is connected to the emotions, and frontal cortex, which is responsible for reasoning and consciousness. All of these are among brain regions. The individual then experiences pain in the finger, which alerts them to the fact that something is wrong, and then they have an emotional reaction such as displeasure and aggravation.
External tissue injury begins at the body surface and activates pain receptors, which move up the spine into the brain via the thalamus. The thalamus is the part that relays sensory information to the cortex. This, however, is only the beginning. What is delivered to the brain determines just a portion of the real pain sensation we have. Consider the role of surprise. For example, it's not enjoyable to be startled by pain, unlike being surprised and unusual early Amazon delivery. This is why, before being poked with a needle, physician and dentist will usually inform you this is going to hurt a little bit. It still doesn't feel great right now, but studies have shown that as opposed to pain being in surprise, anticipating discomfort and may reduce it by approximately half.
Okay, next, neurological disease is a disease that can happen to anyone regardless of age and gender. This disease is actually caused by a problem of the nervous system in our body. This problem can lead to chronic disease such as stroke and brain tumors. For example, if you experience nerve pain, you will have persistent and sudden headaches and so on. Thank you.
Moreover, stimulation pain is a chronic cleanse among the factors influencing correct emotion, a painful past experience, the social contact of expectation and social disease. This disease will describe a situation in life. For example, feeling food that has just been lifted from a pan. This is because access using the object of assessment is paid to 3 hours. Among the effects, the psychological factor will be treatmental on the intensity of pain, the very painful situation. As we will see from the consistency of the upset response. The access can be accessed using a scala from 1 to 10. Thank you. Furthermore, autonomic neuropathy. This is because unable is control the muscle because the muscle is awake. Autonomic never that function the regulation function in the body. This neuropathy will appear when feeling weight in the arm. Therefore, it is necessary to immediately see a doctor so the future immunization can be prevented. Moreover, stimulation pain is a chronic cleanse among the factors influencing correct emotion, a painful past experience, the social contact of expectation and social disease. This disease will describe a situation in life. For example, feeling food that has just been lifted from a pan. Among the effects, the psychological factor will be treatmental on the intensity of pain, the very painful situation. As we will see from the consistency of the upset response. The access can be accessed using a scala from 1 to 10. Thank you.
Question is number 2 is about necessitative pain. Necessitative pain can make a damage in the body tissue, and the person with disease cannot feel the pain even they are injured or bleeding, and this could be danger, and this disease need to be treatment as fast as possible.
An example of disability and impairment that is related to pain is the peripheral neuropathy. Peripheral neuropathy arises when the nerves are injured or destroyed and no longer function correctly. They may transmit pain signals when there is nothing causing discomfort, but it also possible that they may not send a pain signal when there is something causing pain. These causes could be from an injury, a vitamin deficiency, or genetic disease, and many more. The psychological effects of this disability include sleep problem. Neuropathy and nerve issues have previously been related to having poor quality of sleep in a variety of ways, such as restless leg syndrome, which is RLS. It is a common sleep condition that is caused by neuropathy. Usually, people with RLS frequently kick and move their legs while sleeping, waking themselves and their bedmates repeatedly during the night, implying they do not receive enough uninterrupted sleep. Therefore, patients with neuropathy should notify their doctors if they have observed any sleep or tiredness issues, since many are curable.
Patients suffering from chronic disease such as peripheral neuropathy may experience mental health issues. As the pandemic has disrupted many of our daily routines, mental health for patients and their families has become an even greater worry in recent months. The Foundation for Peripheral Neuropathy sought the opinions of 2 specialists on the present status of mental health for people with peripheral neuropathy. Peripheral neuropathy impacts our sensory system, which is one of of the key systems involved in how we perceive our surroundings is a direct influence on how we feel when handling the outside world. Deficits in our sensory system, which are frequently produced by peripheral neuropathy, can be particularly insidious, so we don't generally think of our sensory system as having a role in helping us interpret our experience in the world. But they do. Imagine suddenly losing your vision, which would profoundly alter your perspective of life and your perception of your own identity. When we have difficulty experiencing the outside world, our brain have to work more harder to compensate. This has a direct detrimental influence on our mental health. Routine tasks require more effort and time, and all of these variables combine to have a detrimental impact on our mental health.
Next, if we suffer from neuropathic pain, we will experience some psychological problems. For example, we cannot to sit too long and write. This is due to disorders of the nervous system that occur in the brain. Thank you.
Furthermore, autonomic neuropathy. This is because unable is control the muscle because the muscle is awake. Autonomic never that function the regulation function in the body. This neuropathy will appear when feeling weight in the arm. Therefore, it is necessary to immediately see a doctor so the future immunization can be prevented. Moreover, stimulation pain is a chronic cleanse among the factors influencing correct emotion. A painful past experience, the social contact of expectation and social disease. This disease will describe a situation in life. For example, feeling food that has just been lifted from a pan. Among the effects, the psychological factor will be seeing treatmental on the intensity of pain, the very painfully situation. As we will see from the consistency of the upset response. The access can be assessed using a scala from 1 to 10. Thank you.
And the question number 3 is about the peripheral neuropathy. The person with disease will feel burning and tingling, that which is the feel like your body is getting hot, hurt, sick, and so on. And in the psychology side, person with this disease will feel that their life are meaningless and they want to live like normal people, and of course they want to be free from the disease that they have. That's only my points. Thank you.
In conclusion, there are several methods on understanding the human mind and behavior, and the biological perspective is one of them. Psychologists can better understand how the brain and psychological process impact how individuals think, feel, and act by investigating the biological underpinnings of human behavior. This viewpoint also enables researchers to develop new treatment that address biological impact on physiological well-being. That is all from us. Thank you.